I've planned to revisit the conversation around domestic abuse for a while now. I've written and spoken about it before, but I heard something today that gave me a sense of urgency to begin the dialogue again. And so, content warning, that's what I'm talking about today. It's not something that lends itself well to a 60-second reel or even a single video that's longer. It's very hard to pick up all the things of a complex situation that leads to people becoming abusers or being in abusive circumstances. And there are a number of avenues to advocacy and support and identification of problems, red flag identification that people need to sort of walk through and discuss. We need to discuss how perpetrators become perpetrators and how victims can better be moved away from circumstances of danger, but also prevent it happening in the first place, and also recognize when things are escalating and getting out of control. We need to talk more about what people can do as friends, family, community members, what men can do to better prevent the escalation of the kinds of behaviours that lead to domestic violence and indeed violence in general. And the thing that I heard today was in the Oscars acceptance speech when Will said, "Love will make you do crazy things." And this was after he had slapped Chris Rock in the face for making a joke about his wife. Now, that's obviously not domestic abuse. They're ostensibly at a work function at the Oscars. But the claim that love will make you do crazy things is one of the outrageous calls to guilt that victims endure as part of a process of abuse and dehumanization in abusive relationships and in abusive environments, that is so woefully inadequate for excusing violent behavior that I don't really know if it's worth exploring any further. Love does make you do crazy things. You sing on the balcony in your best underwear, you attempt 10-course meals you've never cooked before, you give up hobbies and pick up new ones you didn't know that you were going to like, you go to movies you don't like, listen to bands you don't like. Love can make you do some crazy things, but it doesn't make you go and assault people. Whether it's someone else, and that's an expression of your love, and it's not your intimate partner or your children or your family, or it is. It's not an acceptable excuse. I'm not trying to pick up all the nuance here. I will address a number of other things over the next little bit around issues that I've seen and had to deal with perpetrators and victims and challenges in domestically abusive circumstances. But it is not okay to use the love will make you do crazy things excuse when it comes to violent expressions of that love. And it's not chivalrous, it's not sensible, we shouldn't applaud it. If our friends do things like that, we should discourage them. It's not defending anyone's honor, it's not strong, it's fragile. And when you love someone and you care about their feelings, punching someone who doesn't is not the answer, or slapping them or whatever. I don't want to get into some semantic argument about it, but the answer is to love them more. The answer is to support them more. And I just wanted to get on the record very quickly that love will make you do crazy things is one of the all-time worst excuses for behavior like that. And we shouldn't be okay with that. There is another part to the circumstances of today that I also want to just touch on briefly, and that is that I previously was not in any way ever empathetic to people who were violent domestic abusers. It was something that really used to set me off in a visceral way. And I think that domestic abuse is upsetting in a more visceral way than some other kinds of challenges that we see in the world, because you expect the home to be a safe place. You expect there to be trust. You expect the people closest to you are people that you can rely on and that you can just love fully, and they love you and look after you. And so there's something particularly insidious about domestic abuse. And I was really unsympathetic to perpetrators until I worked with a number of them as an adult and heard their stories and came to understand that there are people who have done objectively terrible things and been punished for them, that they themselves have been through such terrible times and terrible moments and been so neglected and so traumatized and not supported and not brought through and not guided, that it was almost inevitable that they were going to do something. And the neglect on the behalf of the community is also a liability. We have neglected some people and then we have let them go out to be a risk to others. And that's on us as a community at times to make sure that we don't leave people in those circumstances, and we haven't done it. Now, I've also been a Will Smith fan for a long time and watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and watched some of the new series even and some of his movies, and I've posted about it before. And one of the themes of The Fresh Prince is don't go getting in fights. It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. It's silly. It's not tough. And it's something that his character goes through a lot. And I have no doubt that he will reflect on what happened and be genuinely upset for what he's done, and will have some remorse about it and all that sort of thing. And it leads me to wonder what's going on with him to be doing that. And so I am empathetic to unknown circumstances surrounding people that lash out and do those things. But it is not okay. And you need people around you who you trust and who are brave enough to pull you up when you're down and pull you up when your behavior is not appropriate, and get in the way and get in your ear and not encourage that kind of behavior, because love makes you do crazy things. Being hurt makes you hurt people. Being in a bad way can make you do crazy things. And we need to make sure that people are supported, and we need to make sure that we're not encouraging that and that we're better than that. So while there's plenty to talk about, and I will talk about plenty of other things, today I just want to say that love will make you do crazy things is not an adequate reason to go and assault somebody. I don't care who you are. And if that's an excuse that people are using to abuse other people, you should pull them up on it, whoever you are. And that if it's something we hear our peers encouraging, we should call them out too and tell them that that's no good. It's not strength. It's not strong. It's fragile. Show your love with love. Show your love with love. And be better. Be better. So, I mean, we're going to see the slap 1,000 times, but I just couldn't let the little byline pass without some reflection on its inadequacy, because it's just, that's not something that, we don't need to see more of that. Anyway, look after each other. Just be nice.